Hello Tony, this is Donovan. Thanks again for purchasing a vehicle and congratulations on your new Dodge Charger Scat Pack. I'll go over everything. I'm also going to use this video to submit to the Walkaround competition, so enjoy. All right, what we have here is the 2024 Dodge Charger Scat Pack, and you can see the Stage 2 emblem. It is pollen season here in the Carolinas, so there's a little bit of yellow tint to everything here. Now this is two-door Charger EV. As usual, your key fob has the remote start built right onto it, so just double click, it will start up. If the Fretsonic exhaust is turned on, which I do not have it turned on right now, if that's on, it will give you a little bit of rumble. The rear has the power tailgate. Now there's a couple ways to open that up. Either right down here, there's a button, or you can do it right from the key fob. So we'll double click that and it'll power lift. There is the blind on it right now, so if you want people to not see what you have in the back, it's right there, and that folds up kind of like those little hampers. It will fold up if you need to. Now down here, this took me a minute to find, but you can press this to lower the tailgate, and you could set a height. You basically put it to where it needs to be and hold the set button, and it'll set where you need to have it. So if you have a low roof on your garage, it'll not go up all the way and hit it. On both sides, you have the proximity key, so touch inside the handle, it'll unlock, and touching the little button right here will lock it up. Both sides, front and, or both left and right on this vehicle. Large brakes. Giant brakes, slotted rotors. There's not many slots, but there's a couple slots on there. The hood has the pass-through for aerodynamics and that little air dam up there. Looks great from the front. Look at that. It's mean. The front too, there's two ways to open that up. Inside, there is a button right here. You can open that up from there, or if you really need to, there is a lever, or a little pull tab right there. You can pull it from there. For an electric vehicle, it has some good space in here on the front. One hand operation is tough, but here you go. Now you do have some space in here that you can put stuff in. It's pretty deep. The Dodge Charger is a massive vehicle. Great big cruising vehicle that has a ton of space too for what it is. Inside, it's kind of where the show is. These seats, power adjustable in every way. And you can even extend the front with this. I'm not sure if it really shows up on camera, but lots of adjustments. And you can adjust it how you want. To get to the back, there is a pull tab right here that unlocks all the electrical stuff and lets you do it on both sides. Now on the passenger side, you get a little bit more room to do it, and it allows access for your passengers to go in and out. Both keys can be set to a profile. So you have key 1, key 2. If you remote start it or touch the handle, it'll go ahead and recognize that key fob, and it'll go to your profile that's associated with that key. So if you remote start it, or from your app, or walk up and touch to it, it'll go to your profile. Now there's a lot that you can adjust with the profile. Obviously, all your seat settings can be adjusted, and it'll go to whatever seat setting you have, or if you have a wife that has a second, or husband, or anyone that has a second key, it'll go to their profile seat settings too. But it does more than that. It'll remember your safety settings, your navigation profile and favorites, even your Sirius XM favorites. I'll show you where you can find all of that too and adjust that. So essentially, once you get your seat set up, get all your profile stuff set up, you're gonna hold the set and then your profile that you want to be, and then just hit lock and it'll go ahead and set that up. So we're gonna start this thing up. Okay, the exhaust is turned on and we're gonna do a first start. So first start is a little dramatic. Lets the neighbors know that you have a charger. Pretty cool, to be honest. I've driven one of these through Charlotte. I actually like the exhaust sound. Now on the dash, as you see, throughout there's an ambient color that you can choose, and you can go through a lot of different colors and brightness as well. The dash is Dodge, so very much customizable. You can go through the up, down, left and right, and the OK button to change through different menus and settings right on the dash. You can see your turn-by-turn navigation, adjust your heads up, see messages, go through a lot of different settings depending on how you're driving or what do you want to look at. Most are going to leave it essentially right at the vehicle info or the driver info to do all your lane departure, for collision as well, and see your gauge. One, you have your range on the one side and then your miles per hour on the other, and then your different levels of regenerative braking, and then your power shot ability. Now if you have it in track or drag, that won't be there. This gauge will look way different, and even up in the heads up display, which we can't really see through here, it'll all look more track oriented. You also have your different drive modes down here as well, so you can switch through, and depending on which mode you're in, will change up the exhaust and your display as well. If we go to track, I'm sure you can hear a difference in the exhaust, and then if you have your drag mode on, it's the full version. And then of course, a little gas, you'll get that exhaust sound too. For the sake of this, we'll turn it back to custom, which is where you can customize your drive modes, and we'll go over that later. Your Bluetooth is on the left still. You can change through your different menus here and your favorites, but your Bluetooth, answer call, cancel the call, and then you can also do vehicle commands too. Your cruise control, you have your normal cruise control buttons, set, cancel, resume, but to turn it on, you're going to turn on adaptive cruise control. You can set your speed, so if you're doing 80, someone gets in front of you doing 60, it'll go down to 60, and then you can adjust the distance that you are from the car ahead of you. If they get out of your way, it'll go back to 80. And then your active driving assist, if you have all your lane departure, everything on, it'll actually turn the wheel some as you're driving, which is great on 95 or any major highways. To kind of turn on, you gotta leave your hand a little bit on the wheel to still have some pressure, but it can take a lot of that off of you too. And then your power shot. So when you need it, it is available for so many seconds, and it gives you a 40 horsepower bump. Behind the steering wheel, you have your plus and minus is the regenerative braking, how intense that is. So the higher it is, the more it will actually slow you down when you let off the gas to help regenerate the battery. So I'm gonna put it back here. And then also, it's a Dodge, so behind the steering wheel, you got your volume up and volume down behind the steering wheel on your right, channel up channel down behind the left, and then you can change your sources and your presets as well on that. It is power, so you can up, down, left, and right, and it can be configured to your profile as well. Let's see. Next, we're going to go down here. We'll leave the display for a little bit later. Down here, your parking sensors on and off. So if you're backing up or your cross path detection, it'll be all part of that. Lane departure, you can turn on and off. The great thing for this is when you set up your active lane assist and everything, and let's say you get into a big city or a road that's going under construction and it has a hard time kind of following the guidelines, instead of going all the way into the display and turning it off, lane departure, you can just turn it off real quick and kind of leave it alone and come back on as you need it. Traction control, on and off, and then launch control. Now, we can't do it right now. We have to be over 500 miles for that, but we can go over all of that as well. Your shifter, kind of a reminiscent of the pistol shifter. Reverse, it's going to send that sound out the back too to alert pedestrians or deaf people to that there is a vehicle moving around. You do have your surround cam, and you can also take a look at different camera angles as well and look through different ones. You can set a favorites menu as well. So we're going to do surround view. Backup grid lines do turn, pretty standard these days. And then you have neutral and drive. Drive's the fun one. And then your ignition switch. Now it's just a push button down here, and then your emergency brake as well. Inside here we have a card, a little NFC card that you can set up for your wireless charging and NFC key. So you can set that up. Basically just put the NFC chip down here and it'll recognize it as your key. Put it back in park. Now the Uconnect. There is a lot to this. On the side you have your heated seats, vented seats, and heated steering wheel. When you remote start this under cold conditions, it'll turn on your heated steering wheel and your heated seat. Under hot conditions, it'll turn on your ventilated seats. It'll do it from a remote start or from the phone app when you remote start that as well. And that's on both sides. Now, the old tabs, the media tab, is going to be all your AM, FM, Sirius XM, or any of your sources. It does have 2 USBs down here, so if you do Android Auto or Apple CarPlay through USB, it'll work. If you plug in a drive or USB stick, it'll work too, to read media. But this does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wireless, but you can change through your different sources here as well, including Alexa, which we'll get to. Now if you go to SiriusXM, you can create a profile here and log in and create your favorites. You can favorite, let's say Brooks and Dunn or She's Not Cheating Kind. If they come on any station, it'll alert you and you can jump right to it. You can also go into Game Zone and favorite your favorite sports teams. Any college or professional team of any sport, it has in there. So if you like the Pittsburgh Steelers and you want to kind of stay up to date with them, you can favorite the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then when they play, it'll alert you and you can jump to the game to listen to, or it'll update the score as well on that. You can browse by channels, by genres, and then you can also adjust your audio settings up here. And we're going to jump in here real quick because a lot of times these will come from the factory kind of messed up, so that car salesman will actually go in there and go over it all with you. And then speed adjusted volume we're going to turn on as well. And then, but there's a lot to this whole tab. You can go over a lot of different things here as well. All right, I'm going to take a quick pause because the customers will. All right, to the comfort tab. Now this is all done down here too. So you do have your heat up and down. This is essentially one long key, but it'll recognize where you're pushing. But you can change through, let's say, your different fan speed at any time. I'm kind of a buttons guy. Hit the off. But you can also adjust down here. So you can speed up the fan, turn it down, turn your heated seats from here. You can, which we're not, it's hot today. Turn the vented seats. You can change both climate control as well, and set up essentially where it's all going. I want to turn it off for noise reasons. But that's all through here. I'm going to turn our AC seats off as well. But that's all through here too. Now, if you're on a different tab, let's say the media tab, up in the top left or top right for the passenger, you can click on there too and adjust it as well. So let's turn the vented seats back on, so you don't have to go exactly to that tab. But that's all through the comfort tab. You have it up on the screen, or you have it down on this long bar as well. The phone tab, we are going to wait for you to set that up. This is where you can set up multiple different phones. You can favorite them, and even in the profiles, when you have your key 1 or key 2, it'll recognize which ones you like as favorited or not favorite. You can have 2 phones hooked up at the same time, one doing your phone calls and text messages, and one doing the media too. So if you want all your phone calls and your passenger wants to control the radio through her phone, you could do that right through here too. I'm gonna turn no. Or you can turn on your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto as projection manager on it too. It'll say your phone, and they'll have a little symbol for a phone, or for phone calls and texts, and one as a media symbol for your media, and then off to the right, your projection button. When you pair up a phone, if it has Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, it'll basically take over, and it'll take over this tab too. We're going to skip vehicle and apps, and we're going to go to nav. Nav is navigation. Now, most people are going to use their Apple CarPlay, Google Maps, or Android Auto, Google Maps, but this is really good, and there's a lot to this. Since it's an EV, it has programmed in charging stations, which you can click up here and show you charging stations that are local. You can even click on and start navigating to them as well. There is a lot to this navigation that a lot of people really don't realize, like weather, traffic link, fuel prices. Not that you care about that right now, but if you do have the similar system in your other Dodge, you can go ahead and basically ask it for fuel prices. Let me show you fuel prices in the area too. Apps. This is essentially a collection of all the shortcuts in the whole vehicle. So you can kind of go through, as you see, drive modes, Android Auto controls, passenger seat, and you can favorite them, so you can kind of go to them quickly, or go to media, comfort, nav. There's a lot to this, but that's where we're going to kind of go to. Next is the vehicle. A lot of those quick settings are 2 different things in the vehicle settings or the vehicle tab, which over here, the vehicle, this is where I suggest hanging out for a while and adjusting this car to you. Just like the ambient colors, we said, we could change different colors here. I'm not sure if you can see this, it's kind of light out, but you can change different colors, how bright they are as well. Set this up. I'm going to change it to a red for you to match the theme, but you can change however you want. We're going to go back through to the left and then to the right. As you see, you can favorite cameras, but this is the list of them all. So if you favorite them up, you can go there. So if you only want to kind of check out different ones, and you can do this while driving. So if you want to see if someone is tailgating you, boom. Autonomy. This is all your sensors, and through the settings and safety and driving assistance, you can adjust how passive or how aggressive some of these things are, like the lane departure, forward collision, a lot of the kind of the blind spot, whether it beeps at you or chimes at you or just kind of flashes a light. You can adjust a lot of them and kind of go through And then you can kind of even click on them all to see what's going on, if anything. Sometimes if they're not working, they're generally just dirty, and you can clean them up and they'll let you know. Electric vehicle, this is kind of all the electric only stuff. So this is going to be new to this system and not really in a lot of the other ones. You can watch power flow, driving history. Obviously it's brand new, there's not a lot of history here. The creep on or off. But kind of go through here, and the big one that a lot of people will use is charging schedules. Now you can set this up through the app, or you can set it up through here. If you have kind of peak charging hours or different prices for charging or electric at your location, you can set up that even though you plug in the charger, it'll only charge during certain hours, during basically off-peak times. You can even set up different climate schedules to kind of precondition the battery and everything like that. But there's a good bit to it. And this is kind of where you kind of go set through. And you can change even how far it charges, so to kind of keep the battery lasting longer. The dashboard is going to be your essentially performance pages. It is set up to go to the track too. We're kind of in a bad spot with this glare, so I'm going to move out a little bit to probably even a worse spot. Of course. All right. So you can check out performance pages and see a bunch of gauges. You can see your timers if you do quarter mile pulls. And of course, it's a Dodge, so you can set up quarter miles almost anywhere through different gauges as well. And even in the heads-up display, if you have it in track or drag mode, it'll show you your times, ETs, and distance, and basically, great, you complete a quarter mile and set up launch and all that. Of course, all of that is through there. Now, which I'll go into further later, controls is essentially these things: vehicle cameras, ambient control, mirror dimmer. Now the settings is the big one. So once you go into vehicle, go to settings. This is where you're going to set up a lot of different things. Most of the stuff in here is where you set your profile to the key. So it remembers you every time you get in, or if you have someone else with a key, it remembers them. And to show this, up here, there's a profile button. And it can let you know like when the profile, memory seat, 1 or 2, change the names of the profiles. But down here in more settings, it takes you right there. So, and then it can even show you what all is linked to your profile, which, going over all this is what all is linked to your profile, which you can link straight to your key. You can edit them, all that. We're going to turn that off and go back to vehicle and vehicle settings, which, there you go, on and off here too for the electric drive, which we are going to turn off for the remainder of this. So through here, you can change the display, you can change themes, you can change brightness during the day, brightness during the night, whether through here too, the easy out seats, or if it beeps when you lock it or doesn't, or how many doors unlock or lock when you hit the button. There is a lot to this, and this is where I suggest you kind of spend most of your time setting it up to how you like it. Key off options, how long the screen's on after you left, turn it off. There is a lot to this. Sit down, play with it for a while. Now, after all of this, even though there's a media, comfort phone, all these different tabs, the home button is kind of where it's at. All of those can be more or less programmed in here. So you can set a left and a right display. You can add pages, change pages. You can add a widget. So if you want to have nav on one side, and then you're now playing on the next side, and then you want to change this to, let's say, climate, And then on this one, which boom, you turn on. Ooh, it's hot. Let's turn it down, or just turn it off and add widget. Let's do seats and wheel. That's a nice one. So you can turn on your vented seats. You can kind of basically just have it, the quick stuff that you like to have. Then you can even add a page and set a layout. You want 2, you want 3 in one spot, no problem. You can adjust all this to how you like it, and you can all move around and set it up. That's all of that. With this, there is a ton of stuff, and you're always welcome to give me a call and go over any bit of it. There is a lot that you can adjust here. You can even hook up to things like Alexa. You can sign into your, I'm not signed in yet, but there we go, your Amazon account, and do things like reminders. Say, hey, remind me to go buy more cheese for the pizzas, or, you know, order a certain thing. Whatever Alexa stuff you have, which I don't have, so I'm not familiar with all of this stuff, but you can sign in and get that up. Everything is customizable, even up here. So if you click at the top, you can adjust lots of different stuff up here. So whatever things you have here, which one I'm going to go into, DXR camera, that's a great one. That's a EV thing. You can set up to have the vehicle cameras act as a dash cam, which I'll show you how that works as well. But that's all of this. Inside your center console, there is a USB that says DXR, and you also have an outlet as well, which I'll show you. You plug a USB, which I have a little Samsung SSD that I'll plug in and show you as well. All right, to set up DXR, it's essentially a dash cam that you can store onto a local USB. It doesn't store it to the car, but if you have, let's say, a little SSD and a USB, you plug in right in here. You can go to apps and then DXR. You see there's no external storage found, so we are going to plug this in. And here you go. You can start recording. Uh-oh, I don't think I have it fully set up. But either way, you can watch your rally, you can do an overlay, go race, and it basically just saves right to the Samsung. Now, I don't think I have mine formatted correctly, because you do need it in exFAT and a certain file size. So once I do that, I can get it all set up. But that's how it works. You got a separate USB right here for it, and you can turn it into a dash cam. And it uses your forward collision warning camera and all for that. It's pretty cool. But that's that. And to turn it off, you basically just push the button and you're good to go. But this is your new charger. Got moved a little bit. And then, of course, the sunroof. Massive. That's why we couldn't get away from the glare. That is a huge sunroof. Now, there is so much to this. I am sure I forgot something, but give me a call. I'll go over everything with you. Man, that thing looks mean right there. All right, once again, this is Donovan with Legacy Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Florence, South Carolina. This is a customer vehicle that we have a truck about to pick up and hand deliver to his house. Got to get it cleaned up a little bit more. This pollen's wild. Congratulations, Tony. You're going to love it. Call me if you ever need anything.